What's happening, family? It's your main man, TJ Chatman. I told you guys I'm going to bring you guys a new spinoff show. It's called The Black Couch Chronicles. What is it? It's raw, it's uncut, it's unparalleled, it's unapologetic. But most importantly, it's the untold stories of individuals who want to tell their stories. So for our first guest for tonight is my main man, Ernest Wilson. And we're going to tell y'all his nickname. He find out later on what his nickname is. I was amazed by your nickname at first. And I started cutting food. But what I tell you my nickname when I grew up. But before we start the show, man, we got to go ahead and tap off some of this Black Creek label, whisk, whatever it is. But we're about to go and drink and have a little sip tonight. That's what we're about to do. Pour a little bit there. Pour a little bit here so we don't spill it. But we can get this show started. Salute, my brother. Yeah, let's have it. Okay. It's pretty smooth. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
Man, we are here. We on the Black Couch, even though they are chairs. But as you can see, it's the Black Couch Chronicles with your main man, TJ Chatman. And man, we just gonna chop it up for a little bit and just tell the untold story. And you tell the people what you want to know.
Well, from Jacksonville, Florida.
Duval
County all day, man. Grew up on the north side of Jacksonville. Attended Ribault Senior High School.
Okay.
Graduated in '89. It was a very good childhood.
Right.
I'm the last of 6 kids. Basically call us the Brady Bunch. Three boys, 3 girls. It was a great childhood growing up, man. My dad went to Florida A&M.
Okay,
Rattlers. My aunt went to Florida A&M. My uncle went to Florida A&M. So I got a family history of people that went to.
So that's probably why you went to FAMU.
Yeah. I would say that's definitely why I went to FAMU. I was in the band at Ribault.
Okay.
Then from there, I definitely was interested in joining the Florida A&M Marching 100, which I did.
Okay.
Once I got to FAMU.
Oh man.
And like I say, growing up, played a lot of sports. Baseball, football. That was kind of my angle. I definitely thought I, will continue that journey and go into the league. And I was pretty good in a couple of different sports. But just end up not going that route. I kind of grew up around where my dad, he actually managed a club back in the day in Jacksonville. And he also used to do stuff like book trips with people going to different things like Essence Festival and, some of the classic games and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of where I got
a little niche from it.
As far as what I do today, which is not an easy industry.
Right.
It wasn't back then, and it definitely is a lot worse today. Yeah. So I would say after graduating from high school, went off to Florida A&M. I first got there, graduated like one day, and about 3 days later, I was in pre-drill at FAMU.
Just like that.
For the band. So, yeah, it was an experience.
I can imagine because, growing up in Duval County, it has a history, north side, west side, no matter what side you go on, it's going to be trouble. So how did you stay out of trouble as a kid, though? Because Duval ain't nothing to play with.
I could say just being raised, my parents, raised by, 2-parent household, my dad, my mom and dad kind of kept me into sports. And then a lot of the guys within my neighborhood, a best friend, a lot of people in my neighborhood, everybody, pretty much parents kept them, pretty much on the straight and narrow. And, we just never really got into nothing. We just had bigger goals, vision, where we wanted to go in our lives, and just did not go down the wrong path. But, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I'm not proud of, but, hey,
we all did some things out there. I mean, because I know growing up, in Pompano Beach is, pretty much, where I'm from. It was one of them things, my mom, kept us out of trouble. Trouble was always surrounding us, so like yourself, I also was in the marching band, played football, played baseball, basketball, volleyball, And one day I tried to do soccer until it done hit me in the shins, and then we almost like to fight. So I can say to this day, me and soccer don't get along. I'll probably watch it, but that's about it. You know, catch me on no soccer field because I had to swing with somebody and they decide to kick me in the shins again. I think take it personally, but like your journey, man, it's been one of them things where, I look back, look at myself and see where I'm at. I too wanted to try to go play professional football. I actually wanted to do track as well. You know, unlike your journey, leaving from high school straight to drill, I left high school thinking I'm going to get a scholarship, going to run track, being, Olympic runner, because I was a little fast little joker. That's why they call me Rooster. We're going to talk about that nickname in a minute and where you got it from. But my nickname was Rooster. And I used to just run around like a rooster. That's why I was so fast. So, having to do that just opened up a lot of doors for me until, I got to Orlando. So, but back to you though, man, because it's interesting, leaving from a predominantly black school to a predominantly historical black college at Florida A&M. Take us on that. Take us on that journey though. How was that like when you first got on the yard and knowing that you about to be in the March 100 and just a plethora of women out there?
I mean, it was an experience, man. I can honestly say, I visited FAMU several times throughout my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. Being that my parents always attended games, I would go up there with the band, march in the parade several times, and things like that. So it was a situation where I sort of experienced it before I got there. So I kind of, in so many ways, I kind of knew what to expect before I got there, but it was just one of those things where, I was very independent before I got there, and I just realized, what I went there for.
Okay.
I became a member of the band. Fast forward a couple of years later, I became a member of JR Elite 422 Masonic Lodge, PHA. Prince Hall affiliate, and then after that, I basically pledged Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay.
Alpha Z chapter, Rock of the South. So
yeah, man, that's just a journey in itself, and it's always like a thing when you go to a historical black college. It's kind of like you get on the yard, try to meet certain people. A lot of people you probably ain't go to the same high school as you is there. Now, did you have some of those? You have college, high school friends that followed you to fam?
I mean, there was quite a bit of us that Jacksonville is known. A lot of people from Jacksonville are known to either go to FAMU or BCU.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people that I went to school with or went to some of the rival schools went to FAMU. So we were able to. Actually, my first roommate had actually went to Rains, which is our rival
the rival school. Yeah, across the street, basically.
Yeah, we were actually roommates in Pattyfoot, the old Pattyfoot before they night.
Yeah.
That was back in the day. So yeah, we was roommates in Pattyfoot, and then also I had another roommate that went to went to Reebok, Rodney Staten. He was one of my roommates as well. So yeah, so we all stayed connected, from leaving Jacksonville to going to FAMU. So
man, so your freshman year, what was it like? Being in the band, having to juggle between schoolwork and juggle at drill during marching band season. So I know that kind of be difficult as a freshman. How was that like?
I mean, it was very difficult. Very difficult. We didn't really have a lot of time for any entertainment. Because back then versus what it is today. A lot of these, because of the way the system is and because of some of the ignorant things that has happened in that process, there was, we were actually, I don't want to use the word pledging, but we was actually, doing what we had to do. You know what I mean? To become a member of this band of Marching 100. Right. So, it was almost like going into the service. We was up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, running around the city of Tallahassee.
Man,
I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, that was something that went on for, all the way up until the Florida Classic, which is when we are considered members of Marching 100.
Wow.
So you're talking about what, 4 months?
Man. And not everybody got to go or perform. They
No,
had to sit in
no,
the stands.
no, everybody didn't get to perform. I mean, once you get to Tallahassee, you have to audition. They call it shaking the tree.
Okay.
Um, and luckily, I gonna say luckily, I mean, I had the experience to make it. I had an opportunity to become drum major, which I wish I would have. I actually, I look back now, wish I would
Yeah.
have pursued it. My dad and Dr. White, who was actually the band
The band
director at that
director. Yep.
particular time, they actually marched in the band together.
Wow. Wow.
Dr. White was first trumpet, my dad was second trumpet.
Man,
So I actually
that
marched
got to
in the
be
band
something.
together. So, we had a big connection there. And my dad was also in the band with Dr. James, who was over the percussion
Okay.
section,
Okay.
Sarah James. So it was a lot of history there.
Mm-hmm.
Where I really I look back now because I was drum major at Reebok.
At Reebok. Right. Okay.
And I wish I would have took that opportunity. But I think once I pledged, once I became a Mason, once I got a few years under my belt at
Right.
FAMU, it got to the point to where I was in the process of trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
To
Trying to
the
hurry up
point
and
where I just did. I didn't think that I wasn't ready to be dedicated to be a drum major versus trying to get my schoolwork and other things. And then also I was looking to pledge Kappa and things like that. So I had a lot of things under my belt that I was trying to get accomplished versus actually dedicating myself to being a drum major. So
yeah, 'cause I know it takes a lot of work and dedication, and something got to give, and as far as from become pledging and trying to become a part of a fraternity, I know your time got to get put in with that. Drum major got to put time with that. So it was one of them things where that can definitely be trying.
yeah,
So
and then I worked my entire time while in school. So it was a situation where between student loans and things like that, I actually worked a lot.
uh,
I actually worked a lot. So that was another thing that kind of hindered that process as far as me dedicating myself to a
right.
role of being a drum major of FAMU band, which is totally different from being drum major of a high school
Oh,
band.
absolutely. In high school, you need a drum major. You the shit. You was the
Mhm.
shit on the yard in high school. So, because I know when I was in the band, I did both. Played football. Yeah, I'm gonna tell that story. Yeah. So at halftime, I would take off my shoulder pads, and then I put on my band uniform, and I'll be marching at halftime. Oh, how you do that? Go score a touchdown, halftime, go play, change in the band. Yeah, that was fun though. It was kind of like you can't do both, and I also got recruited as well, to go to FAM, and life took some unexpected turns and whatnot. But that's how I got to Orlando. I decided to follow somebody to Orlando,
Yeah.
and that's how I got here. But I will never regret it. And same for you. You already kind of had your path kind of like laid out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna follow in the footsteps, and I'll make sure I follow them. Was there ever a time that you decided, like, you know what, I want to do my own and start my own legacy by going to a different school altogether?
I mean, I contemplated Howard. I contemplated going to maybe a school in, maybe Atlanta, somewhere
Hmm.
in that area. But my main, I would say FAMU pretty much trumped it, all of that. And I'm proud that I went to FAMU.
Good.
Very proud. And they call us a cult, but
Ah,
I don't care what they call us, man. I love myself some FAMU, man. It's
they
like
gonna
that
always say that.
bond. That bond that we have right now is unmatched with what we have, amongst each other. I mean, we value the time that we come together.
Yeah.
We have a great time at it. So a good thing about me now is that, I mean, not to go too fast forward, I really enjoy a lot of the events that I do that bring all of these people together because some of these people, they haven't seen each other in a long time, but
Right.
whenever I do things that do something like that, they all come and support, and we have a great time at it. So
Yeah, that's real good because I know, like, leaving high school, the only time I get to see, my high school folks is, if I either come back home or if I go to homecoming, whether it's Cookman or whether it's, FAMU. I get to see them, and I ain't seen them in a long time. So it's a little bit different, on my end when it comes to, seeing, old friends, because I came from a predominantly, black high school only to end up in a PWI school, so, but to this day, like you, I don't regret my decision. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now had I not made those decisions, because I'm always a person like, hey, what's meant for me gonna be for me.
Correct.
So I know something like that with you, like some of the decisions that you made and some of the decisions that you thought you should have made but didn't make. How do you feel about that?
You know, I mean, I basically I'm 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 comfortable.
Mm.
I'm good.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I'm at peace with the decisions that I made. And I look at it like this. God is gonna steer me in the direction that I need to go. And that's the
absolutely.
way I just look at it like that. That there's a lot of things that I've been through that it's made me a better person. It's gave me an opportunity, it's put me in a position to handle things differently. And basically just, I've matured a
Mm.
lot, a lot of this, like I said, a lot of decisions I made in life, you know, you know, I'm glad that I made them, because it helped me and who I am today.
Yeah. Now an HBCU is nothing without having women on the campus.
Hmm.
I know some stories. I know some stories about some women. What about women
And
on the campus at the time?
go there,
Right?
it's we had some good times,
Yeah.
back at FAMU, being a Kappa, having different events, Speakeasy wasn't a major event that we had,
Hmm.
back in the day, we had Luau,
Oh yeah.
Kappa Luau and all of
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff, man. So, but it's just one of those things where it just, we had a lot of friends, a lot of people that we still connect
Right.
and stuff like that, man. It's just, FAMU, man.
That's what it's about, man. It's the strike,
Of
strike.
course,
It's the
man.
strike for me, man.
FAMU,
And that's what it's
FAMU.
about, man. And just knowing, like, your story on where you came from, how you got here, where you at to today. It's like it's a lot of untold truths growing up.
Hmm.
What are some of those untold truths that people don't know about you on how you got to where you're at now?
I would probably say, man, it's just, you know, I it was it's like I say, my parents has done they did everything they can to put me in positions to be successful. We lived a very good life
Hmm.
growing up.
Right.
Didn't go without. So um, I can honestly say that those type of traits and things that my parents, positions they put me in, kind of brought me into being who I am today with giving back to the
Right.
to the community, um, and things like that. As far as I do toy drives, I do food supply drives. I'm all about helping the next person get to where they need to be.
Right.
And it makes me feel good by doing that. So,
Yeah.
as far as that is concerned, I mean, I'm in a happy place right now.
Yeah.
As
It's
far as
good.
growing up and helping as many people as I can, and
Mm.
being in a position where we that I can build platforms
Yeah.
that I can give back to kids growing up that may have some shortcomings as far as their life and
Yeah.
what they've been able to achieve and the resources that they
Yeah.
may not have to get to the next level.
And so it's like, I'm this kid from Duval County, played in a lot of sports and drum major high school in Duval County. And you decide now, okay, I'm gonna follow in the footsteps and go to FAMU. I'm gonna pledge, in the fraternity. I'm gonna do all the things I want to do in college. Do you feel that you did that?
No,
Everything you wanted to do in college?
no. I mean, going back to sports, I wish I would have played sports.
And which
I
one would
wish
that
I
have
would
been?
have
Yeah.
football and baseball as well. I was pretty good in baseball as well. I just threw my arm out in baseball, so I was a junk ball pitcher. So
Yeah.
my arm wasn't too good after pitching for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, but football, I was, played wide receiver, played quarterback, So I think, with my speed, I think I look at some of these guys, I think I had the ability to go to the next level, but I just didn't focus on it.
Dang, that so like what drew your focus from that? Because there's a lot of things. Because I want like me, I wanted to be a track star. I wanted to be running for the Olympics because I was that good, and things happened. Something distracted me. Like
Yeah, I think it was just lack of I will say that type of mentorship.
okay,
My dad, he worked hard, to provide for his family. So, like these days I mean, you had them back in the day, but I think it was if I would have had maybe somebody that would have came and said, hey man, you need to go this route, or let me mentor you to go this route. I think I would have stayed on my path. I just decided not to go that path, and I can't say really I took the easy way out, but I just basically went the way that I felt like I can go that direction on my own versus having that quote unquote mentor to guide me and to say, okay, well, you need to do this, you need to get in the gym and work out, or you need to practice, or you need to do this, or focus on this and that. And then I had, couple of injuries, I got hit in the eye with a baseball, almost lost my sight.
man, yeah,
Broke my wrist, cracked my hand in 2-3 different places. So I've had some
injuries.
That made me say,
Hey, that'll make me like, nah, I ain't going to this direction. I'm gonna stay right here. Stay right here. So, like, do you think like, had you gone professionally, you still been able to do the things that you're doing today?
Of course. Yeah, I would have had more resources.
Yeah. Okay.
I had more resources to do the things I did today. Whether I be doing it or not, that's another whole story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually sometimes people get in that path of, damn, I wish I could have did this, or what would my life would have been had I gone down that path? Because myself, I think about it too. Like, TJ, what do you think would have happened if you took all them scholarships to run track? Had a scholarship to FAMU, scholarship to Cookman, scholarship to Tennessee, scholarship to LSU, scholarship to Georgia, all to run track. Turned it down, passed up on it, just to be here in Orlando with someone. And of course, that didn't happen. We didn't last forever, like the fairy tale people say. But it's one of the things where we all think about what could have, should have, would have.
Yeah.
And me to this day, I mean, I don't regret the decision that I made because I wouldn't be here where I'm at today. Stay tuned for scenes from my next episode.
Hey, what up? This is your boy Ricky Spider-Man, and I'm coming to host the Music Fest in Orlando on March the 25th. So you're going to see performances by Fantasia, Babyface, Goody Mob, and many more. So this is a show that you do not want to miss. So make sure you listen to the Ricky Spider Morning Show on Star 94.5 for your chance to win tickets. So make sure you go to musicfestorlando.com. That's musicfestorlando.com to purchase your ticket. It's gonna be off the chain. See you there.
Like, just listening to a lot of things, like I was amongst those guys and just didn't know who they were, and now listening back to them, I'm kind of like, that makes sense how the universe just works their magic and kind of like bring people, together. And, the one thing I can say is, like, just your journey alone, a lot of people didn't know that story, and you just, being here to tell, us about your story is remarkable, because people had a lot of rumors that, you and Pat never got along after First Friday. And it's like a lot of things to get cleared up. And people look like, well,